As you could hear from the previous clip, this Mazda CX-5 has that wishy-washy sound from the engine bay, and let me tell you what that is, guys. It sounds like a ghost sitting in the engine bay, which scares the shit out of the owner, and unfortunately there is a reason why it should scare the shit out of the owner. As the title of the video says, unfortunately this lovely low mileage Mazda CX-5 had a lack of maintenance and somewhat was neglected, and it could have been avoided, that problem what's causing that sound, if the regular maintenance was done on time. So what the owner told me, he hasn't had an oil change for like 18 months, and also he's done 15,000 miles at least on that oil. And let me open the bonnet and show you what we can see inside the engine bay, and I'll then jump into the cabin, show you the fault codes, tell you the fault codes, what those are, and also show you the live data, because there are a few interesting PIDs or data points you want to see, you want to know about, and then I'll let you know what the problem is, what caused it, how could it have been avoided, and then what's the remedy of it. But before we do that, we want to say a huge thank you for our YouTube members and Patreon members as well. Here are the names who are currently members of the channel and also on Patreon. So basically we have members only videos on YouTube, which will be soon publishing on Patreon as well. And also on Patreon at the moment we have different tiers of memberships which you can join to, and based on what tier you join you have different access to the support we can provide, so feel free to check that out, guys. I will leave the links in the description of the video. So first thing first, as part of diagnosis, let's check the oil level.
Let me demonstrate how to do that. I'm a very good apprentice. Make sure it's clean.
And now wipe it off, please. You see them two dots, minimum, maximum, wipe.
And we've got the oil level here.
Yeah, and if you can wipe that off, we've got an X mark on the other side. So that means if the oil level is at here, at the X mark, you have extra 1 liter of oil in the engine. This car has more. Now you may ask the question, how the hell is that possible if it hasn't had an oil change for so long? Does it have like an inverse oil leak, so it's filling up the engine with oil, or how the hell is that possible? Don't worry, guys. I will tell you that in a second later on in this video. And now let's have a look further what we can notice just by looking at the engine bay. I can see that the exhaust pressure sensor is the old one, which you are going to check the values for. Also, you can see that oil mist on the top of the valve cover. What that is from the oil seals underneath the injector brackets. They are leaking, not a big deal, they can be replaced. That's the least of the problem of this car. Also, what I can see, that the drive belt has them cracks. Try to focus on that area. You see them horizontal cracks on the drive belt, and let me, guys, explain why that is a problem. Because the water pump, which sits below the alternator, is driven by that drive belt, and if that snaps, you will lose the water pump functionality. So what ends up happening, obviously you will have straight away dashboard lights because of the battery, so the alternator won't be charging the battery anymore, but more importantly, the water pump won't be spinning and the water is not going to be circulating, not going to cool down the engine, and you will end up with overheated engine, which may lead to cracked cylinder head at worst, but definitely your head gasket will go with it if you have the engine, or if you let the engine getting overheated. Also further, I can see that the silicone bubble from the factory, the original one, is still sticking out from underneath the valve cover, which indicates to me that very likely the valve cover hasn't been taken off yet. And also, let's have a look at that infamous clamp, water hose clamp. I know you can't see it, guys, you need to trust me on that one, but the clamp is facing towards the driver, meaning the intake manifold hasn't been taken off. And that sound, which you may have heard in the first clip of the video, is coming from this area, which is a very expensive area, but again, more on that later in the video. I still want to remove the oil filler cap and look inside underneath the valve cover what we can see. So with the cap removed, let's have a look inside the engine. And I'm not gonna lie, knowing that the engine didn't have the oil changes done for quite a long, that internals of the engine inside the cylinder head underneath the valve cover looks pretty good to me. What we don't know, unfortunately, if the injector washers are blowing out, and if they are, how many of them, and also like what's the proper situation underneath the valve cover, meaning the carbon buildup around each injector hole, which can lead to like very expensive repairs. For example, if those not caught early, not get cleaned early on, they can get washed down with the oil through the timing cover side. So here down to the sump, gets picked up by the strainer, blocks it, and you will end up with oil pressure problems, which is not far from the truth in this car or on this car, because it has the oil pressure light. You don't want to see that on your dashboard. But in this case, that lamp means something different, but I will get to that as well in a bit. The car has two fault codes present, which is the P258B, indicating that the vacuum pump is faulty, and the other one is the P253F, meaning the engine oil is deteriorated, which I will get to it later on. Now let me switch the camera and show you the live data and what we can see from them. We can see that the vacuum pump values are extremely high. So if you check the number 21 brake booster pressure sensor, it is reading nearly 39 kPa. When the vacuum pump is working properly, that should read 7.6 kPa at idle. Now let's have a look at these values, specifically for the engine oil temperature, the engine oil pressure, exhaust pressure sensor. So as you can see, the engine oil temperature is at 85-86 degrees of Celsius, but the pressure is, I would say, averaging 120 kPa, whereas it should average at that temperature at least 160 kPa at ideal circumstances. Further, the exhaust pressure sensor reads 84 in average kPa. That should read 105, so 105 kPa. Let me give it a little bit of gas, so rev the engine till, let's say, 3000 RPM, and then lift my foot off the throttle. What you did see, that the numbers for the exhaust pressure sensor went up quickly and also went down quickly as well. What that means is very likely the pipe is clean underneath the exhaust pressure sensor. But what the problem is here, that the exhaust pressure sensor is on its way out and it is not reading or providing the correct values to the ECU. So that needs a replacement. And I will talk again later about the oil pressure. Let's go further down. So these are the distance since the last changing of oil and the dilution amount of engine oil data points which we are interested in. So the first one reads 36,500 kilometers. If you do the math, I would say that is around, let's say, 20,000 miles. So what I guess is the engine oil may have not been changed for that long. For that period of time, the dilution amount doesn't seem to be that high, but it is high. But to be honest, I would expect it to be more diluted, the engine oil, if it hasn't been changed for that long. We can have a look at the DPF values. They are quite close to the DPF region, and it happened 39 kilometers ago. I believe the car has DPF issues as well. So what that means, the DPF is getting, or the ECU triggers the DPF region very frequently due to the carbon buildup. And now back to the high engine oil level and the engine oil pressure problem. So the engine oil level is high or risen because of the too frequent DPF regions. So every time the DPF does a region, the car or the ECU commands the injectors to spray extra fuel to the combustion chamber in order to get the DPF to up to temperature to be able to do the regen, because it is so frequent that extra fuel ends up in the engine oil, diluting it and raising the level. By diluting it, it loses its viscosity or ability to lubricate. What in practice it means it becomes thinner, especially at high temperatures. In my opinion, these engines are running on low oil pressure from factory, so 160 kPa or 1.6 bar is not a lot, and when it even drops further down to 1 bar or 100 kPa, it's definitely not good for the bearings, for the oil pump, and to other engine components which uses the lubrication system. And how we can end up there? Again, not changing the oil on time, it degrades, loses the ability to lubricate. Also, if it gets diluted with fuel, again, same thing happens. Unfortunately, on this one, it is a double trouble. Both of them happened, and that's why the car has lower oil pressures, and also it is diluted because the engine has carbon buildup inside the intake manifold on the intake ports, and that's why it is. So how that happens? Basically, because the intake ports and the ports inside the intake manifold getting thinner and thinner again, less air can get into the combustion chamber, meaning the combustion is not perfect, and unburned fuel ends up in the DPF and clogging it more often than it needs to do the DPF region again more often, and then it dilutes the oil more. So it all falls into pieces, and everything affects everything, if that makes sense. And now finally I'm going to show you what that ghost sound or winning sound was and where it was coming from and what the problem is. So guys, we are inspecting the small turbine wheel, and if then moves the borescope closer, or I move the camera closer, you can see that the edges of the turbine wheel are like a tiny bit warped, and then it's going to insert a magnet or a rod in there to show you something else as well. So as you can see, the turbine wheel has play or movement. A sideways movement, very tiny play is okay. The turbine wheel shouldn't have like a longitudinal play, so back and forth, sideways is okay, but that is already too much. And what's happening is the as you can see, the turbine wheel propellers or blades,
impeller shaft,
or impeller shaft, not the shaft, the
shaft itself is broken, most likely.
It's not broken yet, in my opinion. The fins of the turbine wheel is touching the turbine housing, and that is making that whining noise, which is coming from the small turbo. So what the problem is, the turbo is going, or it's very close to be shut. So what this car needs, it needs a new turbo, unfortunately, definitely a new vacuum pump. Very likely the vacuum pump got bad or damaged because of the worn camshaft. Obviously we can't confirm that without taking the valve cover off and actually checking the camshaft, but 99% a chance that it will be worn. Also, the car needs a carbon cleaning. I would definitely inspect the oil strainer because of the low oil pressure. But again, let's say if we remove the valve cover, we can already roughly tell like what the situation or the condition would be inside the oil sump based on what we see around the injector hose. If there is a solid carbon buildup around the injector hose, keep in mind, guys, that carbon buildup underneath the valve cover is different that which is in here in the intake manifold and in the intake ports. And further, the car definitely needs a new exhaust pressure sensor. Well, so how the turbo failed was because of the, unfortunately, because of the oil pressure. Because the turbo runs off of oil, or it's lubricated by oil and needs the oil pressure. And if the pressure drops, it cannot be sufficiently enough lubricated. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe the turbine wheel even spins at 20,000 RPM. Sometimes if you obviously rev the car and it gets up to like higher rev range, the turbine wheel can spin at very high speed, and as it is spinning, it's not getting the lubrication, it can overheat. And that's very likely what you could see from the previous clip, that it develops that side plate and start to touch the turbine housing, and from that basically there is not long until it's completely fogged or shot. So that's a very unfortunate case. But yeah, our guess or our bet is that the turbo failed because of the car had low oil pressure. So as you could see, low mileage doesn't necessarily or always mean that the car is in a good condition, especially if it is neglected. Sadly, the owner didn't go ahead with the repairs, which we can fully understand, because it was quite very expensive, let's be honest, very expensive. So what he decided to do, he decided to trade in the car. Very likely it will be for sale on Copart or some kind of auction website, doesn't matter. So what he has done, he took out another car. Fair play, we can understand that. Yeah, it is a lot of money and some people cannot justify that, to spend that money on repairs. But yeah, however guys, by the way, if you want to buy a Mazda CX-5, at the moment we have one up for sale. I will include the link in the description of the video. It is a 17 plate, low mileage, I believe 87. Had the 2 front discs and pads done, 2 front lower control arms carbon cleaning, exhaust camshaft replaced, also exhaust pressure sensor replaced. It just had a new turbo installed, and we made sure that the car is in very good condition because we don't want comebacks, so we can calmly sell the car as it is. Also, it has just a fresh MOT and also a major service, which includes engine oil and all the filters, so the cabin, air, fuel and the oil filter obviously. So yeah, feel free to check that out guys and let us know or get in touch if you want to buy that. Other than that, thank you very much for watching and see you very soon in the next video. Take care and bye bye.